Nope. They're not going to get me. Can't do it.
Come on, Austin. You know you want to take off the blindfold. If you do, you can see Oppenheimer and Barbie a whole week early. Do it, Austin. Take off the blindfold.
I'm not doing it.
Open your eyes,
I'm not doing
fool. That's right.
I kind of want to do it. I think I'm
Barbie
going
and
to
Oppenheimer together in harmony.
What's up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to the channel. It's a tank top. Couldn't find anything else. It fits nice, though. Today, we're going to talk about the spinoff of Bird Box. That is Bird Box Barcelona. Is this spinoff as good as the original, or is it just unnecessary? Am I looking in the right direction? I think so. After an entity of mysterious origin annihilates the world's population, causing those who observe it to take their lives, we knew this, Sebastian and his daughter Anna must navigate their own journey of survival through the desolate streets of Barcelona. But as always, it's not the unseen entity, it's other things at play, as I drop my phone. And of course, this movie is rated TV mature for all of the similar scary things we got in the first Bird Box, except this spin-off, it's not a sequel, it's a spin-off, is bigger. Bigger doesn't always mean better, but it means bigger set pieces. There are certain sequences that happen in this movie that are pretty epic, I'll give it to them, and the cast is good. I think the performances are good throughout the film. They aren't necessarily elevated by the material that they're given, and we'll talk about that, but Bird Box Barcelona has a lot of things going for it on its surface, but when you do a spin-off movie like this that not a lot of people knew about, and it's kind of out of nowhere, you have to make the story compelling. I think that's what a lot of people loved about the first Bird Box, and while I wasn't the biggest fan of the execution overall, I did think the story was interesting, and the idea of these creatures, we don't know what they are, we don't know why they react the way they do, and when you open your eyes...
Open your eyes.
Hey, come on, buddy, I want to go home.
Well, don't do it, because you're going to hear voices, you're going to see things, and that's going to lead you to your death. Now, it obviously reminds me a lot of The Happening. I think I made that comparison in my first Bird Box review, and that wasn't a good movie, but it was also scary, so I'll give it that. Except this one doesn't have Mark Wahlberg. What a shame. What an absolute shame. I'm of two minds with this story. I like one aspect of it quite a lot. It's what Sebastian, our main character, is dealing with. This horrific event that happened in his past. And it's not like this goes unanswered. We do kind of find that out a bit later on in the movie, but we continue to get these visions, these flashbacks, and it's upsetting him. And it's causing him to either make decisions or not make decisions that, well, there are repercussions for the bad things that happen in this film. And again, you have stakes there. So, I'm listing all of these really positive things, and you would think the movie would be good, but it all comes down to the execution and the fact that this story, the way it plays out, it doesn't play out in as interesting of a way as the setup made it feel like it was going to, and the overall premise and our main character who is dealing with a lot, who's trying to protect the people around him, but in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I can't even protect those who are closest to me. How am I going to protect all of these other people? So that was nice, but beyond that, these side supporting characters, they really get nothing to do. And like I said, the performances aren't half bad. You have Diego Calva in there, a character who was wasted, but really a performance and an actor who was completely wasted. It's like you have this guy who was just the main character in a Damien Chazelle film last year. It didn't do all that great at the box office, but that's still cool, so he's got the chops, but you waste him, and you waste his character, Georgina Campbell, who I also think is really good, and honestly, she's not half bad in this film, but again, I didn't feel what I needed to feel, and when you get into those very tense moments where everybody's yelling, don't take the thing off, don't open your eyes, don't look around, don't listen, don't do any of those things, you're supposed to feel the stakes. And I felt them in a way because of that build-up behind each integral moment, but when they would happen, I just didn't feel a connection to these characters. So unfortunately, I'm sitting here going, yeah, I mean, that's cool, I guess, but because I'm not connected to the characters, and because I'm not connected to this story, and other than the motivations behind our main character, they have to do something, they have a goal here, and it's just not all that interesting. At least the mission in the first film, there was this weight to it, and you cared a lot more about the supporting characters. In this film, it's our main character, his daughter, and one other younger character that I did kind of feel a connection to because there is a motivation there. Other than that, it's just like, good performances.
I mean, it's all right,
but it doesn't mean anything when the writing for the characters is just so mediocre, and I felt that way about the execution across the board. Then you look at these big sequences, and the set pieces are nice. They're big, they're grand, but the CGI, the visual effects, as we get answers to our questions or theories, maybe not answers, we are starting to see some things and experience moments that require good visual effects, require solid writing, and require interesting sequences. But other than one or two sequences, one or two moments that I thought was, all right, that's cool. That's why people tune into Bird Box. They want to see freaky stuff. And that was freaky. That was nice. But it's all followed up by, when cars, there's a lot of vehicles that explode in this movie. And anytime we see fire, there's one point where someone is set on fire. It doesn't look great. And even the shock factor of people offing themselves, because that's going to happen. It's the premise of this movie. That wasn't really that shocking. I think back to a movie like The Happening. It's a terrible film, but at least those were more shocking than this. And finally, you get to the third act. There's a set piece that looked cool at first. I'm like, oh, this could be an interesting set piece. It requires characters to climb things, and it's big, it's bold, and again, the setting of the film is nice, and the backgrounds actually look pretty good here. Some were CGI, some weren't, but they look solid, right? And what's happening on screen, I'm just like, it's generic, it's predictable. I know what's going to happen before it happens. The villains in this film, not the creature things that we're dealing with, but the humans. And that's what the premise says. It's like, oh, there's something else lingering. There's something else there. It's not these things. They're just so lame. And there's a backstory there. There's a connection. But oh man, so the one-liners that our main guy was spouting out, I'm just like, it's on Netflix. You can make it a background watch. So before I give you my score, my question is, did you enjoy Bird Box or Bird Box Barcelona more? And who is the best character in this movie? Leave those comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, you want to drop a thumbs up, that would be helpful. Not without an entertaining sequence or two, Bird Box Barcelona struggles to maintain momentum or deliver compelling characters. Diego Calva is wasted, but the cast does everything they can with this material. It is bigger than the first, but certainly not better. And I just wasn't really a fan of this unnecessary spin-off. It was a nice surprise to get it, but I watched it, I'm like, well, let's see what happens. Is there going to be a sequel? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. What's on Netflix? I gotta fix this lighting. I'll see you soon.